Well, hello everyone. We're
Hello, hello,
back.
hello.
Hello.
We
It's been
are
a long
back.
time, y'all.
It has. It's been what, 2 months?
Almost the
Right.
whole summer.
Woo. Well, hello, ladies.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, HMP fam. It has been a while. It has been a while. I don't even know if everybody knows that we're back. I tried to promote. Did y'all promote? Did y'all tell people tune in tonight? Did y'all say that?
Oh, today was a day. That's all I can say.
Y'all know how I am on social media, so you ain't remind me. But I'm gonna get better. I'm coming back in social media.
Their own show. Can y'all believe they did not promote their show? Mm-mm-mm.
Sometimes you get a sabbatical from social media. This is my sabbatical year.
Oh, is it? Is it really? Is it
Yes,
really?
it is really.
So, how is everyone doing? Have y'all done big things this summer? I mean, what has been going on? A lot.
Look
Hello,
at Queen A. She looking around like,
hello.
like a
I
lot.
mean, it's been a lot. For me, it's always work, work, work. So for me, it's just been really just bringing my career together, my love life together, and it's been good. So it's been a lot of work in terms of like
Yes,
my career, but other than that,
yes.
it's been really good. So I'm happy. It's been exciting so far. I can't wait to vacation though. I can't wait to take vacation though.
Oh,
No.
awesome. Serious K. What about you?
Yeah, mine pretty much the same. Busy, work, school, busy. I have a I go on vacation next month. I need it. I after Monday, I called my advisor and I was like, listen, I'm experiencing burnout. I feel like I want to go to a mountaintop and scream. I
Hmm.
need a break. He was like, no, no, no. Listen, when you need a break, you need a break. He said, how take however many breaks that you need.
Wow.
So after Monday midnight, I'll be on break from school for 6 weeks. So I'll get to breathe. Because
Yes.
I'm telling you now, I felt like I was just really losing my mind. I was like,
Oh,
this is too
wow.
much. It's too much going on.
Hmm.
Because we were in the process of selling a house and buying a house, trying to work, school, still trying to maintain and keep my mental health, taken care of. So I'm looking forward to this break the next 6 weeks.
I
Mm.
know that's right.
Yeah, sometimes we have to take that. You have to self care.
Hmm.
That's self care. So
Mhm.
sometimes you have to take those breaks and regroup, get yourself
Yes.
together
Mhm.
because that mental space is important. So,
Mhm.
And how
so
you been, Miss Coach Yolanda?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I have been fine. My hair is a hot mess tonight, but that's all right
It's
because I
beautiful, girl.
feel
It's
beautiful
beautiful.
inside. That's all that matters. I'm not like you.
Yeah. It's just not the way you want it. It's not a hot mess. It's just not what you want.
Yes,
Serious, Katie. Wait.
I know that's right. Yes.
Well, it's not the way I want it. Okay. The hair
Yeah.
was trying to correct me, y'all. But yeah, but I've had a very busy summer with my little one.
Mhm.
He's been in summer school and we have been spending a lot of time together, he and I.
That's good.
So you know how that goes, mothers that's out there with still little ones, not the ones with the grown kids and they're empty nesters. No, I'm not talking about y'all, serious K.
But you know what? Your son, he's not gonna be a little one. He's coming to teenage years. He's gonna be in the double digits
Mhm.
soon.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
yeah, he's already in the double digits. He's 10, he'll be 11 on the 17th of this
yeah,
month.
I
He's
can't
going to
believe
his
his birthday
sixth
is the
grade.
7th for some
Can
reason.
you believe that I have a sixth grader? Oh,
I know. So he's no longer a little one.
he'll always be mommy's little. Sound like I'm stuck. I don't want
I
nobody.
think it's just moms. That's just moms how we are.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. We don't want to let our little ones grow up into adults,
Mhm.
becoming adults. Well, we have a fun show tonight because it's all about the trending topics. I mean, there are even more trending topics. It's just so many. We don't have enough time. We have a
Mhm.
life, after the show. So it's it's a lot going on, and so this show is really about our perspective on the hot topic. So, of course, HMV fam, you guys know every single topic we're going to talk about. You know what's going on. We don't need to give a synopsis of every single thing, what happened, with these topics and everything, and just going to give from our perspective. So, three different perspectives, honey, tonight. I'm talking, you got some strict perspectives, some very open, whatever perspectives, and just keeping it 100 perspective. So, so let's just go ahead and get started. Let me pull out my phone. Y'all know I usually have a big piece of paper. My phone because I did not print out our outline for tonight. But I do want to mention that we didn't put this in our hot topics to talk about, but our producer brought it to our attention about the monkeypox. We don't have to say a lot about that, but y'all be careful. Be
Yeah.
careful out there because it is
Especially in Atlanta. It's really hot here in Atlanta. And the other day I did see they put a state of emergency.
Yeah.
So it's really big.
And I
Some
think
people again not taking it serious though.
they
Right.
have oh god.
Oh God, no.
Oh,
Oh Lord.
okay.
Oh my God.
I hear that there are 7,000
Oh
cases
Lord.
in the US.
Wait, y'all. Wait, I gotta check this. Because I got a little bump there that I'm like,
Oh,
Okay, really?
Lord.
And I don't know where it came from all of a sudden. I'm like,
Whew.
yeah, to check because I'm like, wait a minute, because it's a bug now. Sometimes you get bit by something, you itch it. But this one is not itching, so I'm like,
Well, good is not itching because they said it's very itchy and it's
okay,
painful.
Ooh, okay, thank God, doesn't
Okay,
hurt.
Mhm.
producer, we thank you for that image. But anyway, be careful because I think there's 4 states that's declared, maybe more. You know, I'm just saying what I've
Yeah.
seen. The
So they
California,
said
New York.
Clorox and Lysol, the two disinfect. I mean, two things to use to disinfect your surfaces. So be careful, and it lingers on surfaces from 2 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
So stop being all up on folks.
Yeah, there's one of the CDC, or maybe it was one of the. She was a doctor, and she
Yeah.
was on one of the channels I watch a lot, Roland Martin, I believe, and she said that it's definitely skin contact. So
Mhm.
where a lot of people think it's like an STD, though it may appear like an STD because of But anyway, it's all around.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen some of the images where those bumps are
Mhm.
all around the
No,
mouth.
I don't even look at it.
It's all over. People are videoing themselves with it and all that, but
Yes,
they
talking
say,
about it.
yeah,
So
the
she
sneezing
said,
and the coughing. Whew.
she said it's
Well,
got a lot of symptoms like COVID. So
Yeah.
she advised you still wear your mask, still wearing the mask, although we have just threw that mask to the side and just said whatever. But she said still important. She even said disinfect everything. Like when you go into restaurants, movies, on the plane, she said you shouldn't even wear shorts on the plane. In her opinion, I wouldn't even wear shorts on the plane. She said because those
no.
skin contact. Somebody was sitting in that seat. You don't know, if they have it or not. If they've been infected, you don't know. So you can sit and then you got a contact and then you're infected. She said you won't know. I
Yeah.
think you don't know until like a couple of weeks later. I think it takes a
Yeah.
couple of weeks later.
I
But
think that's
that's important. You guys be careful out there. You do not. I do not want that on my
No,
skin.
our producer, she said Biden administration declares monkeypox outbreak a public health emergency in the
In
U.S.
the
So
U.S.
yeah,
Wow.
so now you remember when they did COVID, it was I'm not even going to go to the astrology thing, y'all, because I can say a whole lot about this, but because it's just interesting, the same time of the way the planets lie and everything, the same time when the COVID outbreak was happening, now we see something different, something similar, which is, and then they at first they declared an emergency, then all of a sudden everything, I'm not saying things are gonna shut down, I'm not saying that at all, but it's just interesting how we're coming up to, with this again, where we have some type of public health emergency. So
yeah.
I know. That's
I would
crazy.
say get your immune system. I will always say stay getting your immune system in order
Mhm.
and boost it up. And do stay in God definitely, and just use wisdom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very important.
Yes.
Oh, okay, enough off of that. Lord have mercy. Let's move on to some of our hot topics. So the first one we're going to bring up tonight. Oh my God, it's so many. All of us, I'm sure, have heard of the story of from the bishop, Bishop Lamore. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Whitehead from Brooklyn. If I'm not mistaken.
Listen, that whole outfit says a whole lot right there.
Yes, it does
People,
everything.
right. The church they were robbed. What was that? Some weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know. Did y'all see the clip? I'm sure everybody saw the clip. I'm sure
Yep.
everybody saw the clip. So
Hmm.
everybody know about the story. We've heard so many stories. I've even heard some of his interviews, just him talking about who he is. The type of person he is, because they have really clowned him a lot, and I learned a lot about him. But I'm just going to give my perspective of the situation. Only God knows if that was a setup or not, although some people have proof that it was, and they are exploiting it and everything. But I would definitely say, just from listening to him, and I think that he calls himself a hip hop bishop, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
And then he said that he hangs around that industry a lot. He's friends with a lot of those hip hop uh, rappers or whatever they call themselves.
Hmm.
And he said that he's friends with 50 Cent. 50 Cent got saved in his
Mm.
ministry. So just looking at things like that and hearing stuff like that, and um, being for real saved and a for real, child of God, and just seeing the different things, because people are quick to say, "Oh, you're judging." At some point, a child of God has to stand out from among thee
Mhm.
and be different and be seen.
Hmm.
And the thing, from my perspective, the thing that a lot of people are missing, a lot of people that aspire to be leaders and say that they're leaders and want to go out into the community and witness and preach the gospel. Yes, you do. Um, become get on their level and just try to be able to connect. It's all about that connection first.
Mhm.
But there is a difference, and I think that's where we're missing it as a Christian community. I hate to use the word Christian because it's used so loosely, but as
Right.
a Christian community, being able to connect and being able to still stand out and remain, different and distinct. So you can definitely go out and be friends with the hip hop, class, and befriend them and talk to them and be their mentor, coach, whatever you want to be to them, but yet still be able to know who you are and understand your place in Christ.
Mhm.
And I think that's where a lot of uh, leaders such as him is missing. And I think that if you're ever learning, in this word, you're ever learning, in this lifetime, you're ever learning. And I think that there's a lot that needs to take place with, just listening to his interview. There's a lot that needs to take place, with just him alone. And I don't
Yeah.
know nothing. Only the things that I've heard about him, because I don't know him personally, but I didn't have to hear those things just watching him talk. You can tell a lot about a person just from conversation. And I wasn't having a conversation, but with him, um, having all these interviews after the big fiasco. So having all these interviews with these different bloggers and bloggers and
Hmm.
news that there's a lot of work that needs to be done just with him. And I think he said he's in therapy. You need a lot of therapy, a lot.
Mhm.
There's some
Right.
internal work that needs to be done with him. Go
Yeah.
Right.
ahead.
Right.
Go ahead, Queen Ed. Were you going to say something? I thought you were getting ready to say something.
I wasn't, but I can say something. But I would say just the whole story is just, I want to say God is exposing a lot of these spiritual leaders because they really being reprimanded. Um,
Mhm.
and you see a lot of spiritual leaders are having health crisis, mental health, not physical health, mental health crisis, but as well as some of these leaders are going down because
Yeah.
the root of what they're doing is not in God. Now, I'm not going to say he's
Mhm.
not, but when you look at the story, so a lot of people may not know the story where he got robbed and, people, some robbers came to church. But what's interesting is that he told everyone to go into church, everyone to leave from the church. Now, robbers not going to let nobody leave the church. They want to collect all the money, all the jewelry.
Right.
So when you think about that, like that whole story doesn't make sense. And then when you learn of the legal situation that he was in, where he had a lot of PPP loans out, he had so many different things going on. So it was like, how was something, he tell, oh, let everyone in the congregation leave and you can have whatever I have. So, I mean, just my opinion, and it may not be true, but he could have had some insurance money out on, on his church and on
Right.
the on the jury. So I'm not trying to say that, but that's just my opinion. But it's just very interesting because someone who's coming to rob a church, they want money from everybody. They're not thinking about, okay, we're just gonna get money from two people. They trying to
Yeah.
get as much as possible. So that's why the story is very odd and this doesn't make sense. And God is really putting, those fake leaders, the stories producer said the stories are very contradictory, and it really is. And also, he stated he knew the robbers were there for him and his wife. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
but even if they were there for him and his wait. First of all, how did he know? They there for him.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
Mm-hmm.
even if they were, they want to get as much as possible. So just the story just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
And God is exposing his leaders,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
spiritual. I'm not gonna say his leaders, but spiritual leaders. He's exposing because these people supposed to be leading to, leading God to Christ, walking in integrity, walking upright.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, some
Mm-hmm.
leaders are not living upright. So it's
At
like, how
all.
can you expect your congregation to
Yes.
Yeah.
follow Christ and live upright, according to Christian values when the spiritual leader is not upright? So,
Mhm. Yeah. Serious K, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm just gonna say, I try not to make judgment calls, but as Queen A was saying, what this is my thing. If you knew that the robbers were coming for only just you and your wife, if they only was coming for you and your wife, why did they have to do it, rob y'all publicly in front of a whole bunch of people and not bother the people? If they only wanted you and your wife, they could have caught y'all after church, the
right,
congregation left and got y'all by
exactly.
yourselves.
Yes.
Um, and just looking at one of his videos, him talking about his prayer closet, I'm like, this is like, this is the wrong time to be boastful and to be showing all of your Gucci's and your Fendi's and your this and your that, especially if you have a congregation that's suffering.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying this congregation is suffering, but the church seems to be a small church.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So seems like you're the only one in there that's profiting, that's got all this Gucci and all this kind of stuff going on. And you should be putting that money into the church, building a bigger church, a better building, helping people, helping the community. I don't know if he does it, if he doesn't, but this is also yet another stain on Christianity because we already have a hard enough time trying to talk to people and bring them to Christ. And then they're talking about, well, these leaders, they just take your money. Okay, and then here he go.
Mhm.
Here goes this man setting up the robbery, allegedly, exposing all this expensive stuff that he has. So, I mean, I don't have an argument or a case anymore. I'll just sit back and say, well, I don't know. I try to fight for our leaders and speak and kind of, protect them, so to say, but you can't when you have people like this.
Right.
Yeah.
It just saddens me. It's just another damper on Christianity.
And
Yeah.
Kim, when you said you mentioned about his prayer closet, when you think about it, the prayer closet supposed to be a secret thing. So it's
That
like
part. I didn't see no scriptures. I didn't see a cross. I didn't
I
see
saw
a
clothes.
knee pad.
I saw a lot of clothes. Did y'all see? I saw a lot of clothes. I'm like,
No.
okay. Yeah.
And the Bible speaks about going in prayer, like going in secret in prayer, and it's like you
Yeah.
exposing all your your Gucci stuff and all this other stuff and what you have in your prayer closet instead of like you said, Shalom, like instead of having scriptures and maybe like visual boards of something or so
Yeah.
it just says a lot. I'm telling you, God is really exposing y'all. Whew.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
yeah. It like you said, it's really, really sad. Like both of you said, it's really sad. And did you guys see a screenshot of his church? The picture? Did y'all see
Our
it?
producer said it wasn't even a Bible in there.
Uh, mm-mm.
And that producer
I
said
know.
the church is technically a party rental hall. So I guess he uses it for the party rental hall. I mean, you got to make money some
Also,
way.
that's what okay, because I saw a picture. I don't know if y'all saw a picture of his church, and I'm like, wow. So see, and that's where wisdom kick in. Anyway, from our perspective, everybody that say they're a leader, don't believe the hype.
You know what? Larry Reed, Larry Reed, everyone knows he's a social media influencer. And he mentioned this is where someone like him needs a prophet in their life or a spiritual leader. Because if he
I just
wants to
think
really,
he
yeah,
did that.
if he really wants to build his church, he got to get into a network and get mentor, spiritual leader, or a prophet that's going to guide you of how to really come out of this situation, or even just build your church. Because listen, y'all, to
Yeah.
me, the church is a business. I mean, it's spirituality, but to me, it's a business. You got to learn how to run it as a church, but definitely as a business because you got to build the money. And you can't be doing all the crazy stuff, in order to get money. You got to,
Yeah,
build it as if it's really a business. So
yeah, yeah. And it seems like he really wants to help and lead and speak and teach the word of God. Well, you need to get the help first,
yeah,
and really get in order and in sync and in alignment with the word of God so that you can because he may if he has that desire, he may can really, help others. But
right.
you gotta and even in that, even in our error, in the error of our ways and our mistakes, such as the things that he said and how he represent himself, someone can still be helped, because God is God. But if you want to lead a flock, you definitely got to get yourself together, so,
Yeah.
and that's no
Yeah.
judgment, that's just the truth. That's the truth, that's just the truth. You got to get yourself together, sir.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. We're going to talk about this is a for me it's a very heartfelt topic, and this is on the Will Smith apology. So I'm sure you guys seen the apology video. And so we're going to talk about it from our perspective once again. So when I did see the video, because I'm a part of his, I don't know if y'all part of his YouTube page. I'm sure y'all are. If not, yeah, maybe you got notifications on the other social media, the Facebook, and so I got the notification that he had posted this apology, and I watched it, and for me, it was for me, just watching him before I listened to all the criticism and the behavior arts guy and the body language guy and all those bias guys and stuff. Um, I wanted to see for myself and just really, really, kind of like um, really, really observe him and see, just how sincere it was. And for me, it came across very sincere. Even in his voice, I can even hear the shakiness in his voice. I don't know if it was all I'm nervous or, I got to do it the right way because he is, a celebrity and, he's apologizing for something that he did publicly and, he want to make things right for his, for his fans and everybody, although he owe us nothing. He owe us, he did not slap us. That slap did not affect me in any kind of way. And it definitely did not affect you guys in any
Mhm.
kind of way. But with many of us, Lord, it was like he slapped us on that stage. Like he knocked
Wait, every time I think about it, I laugh.
it was like he knocked the heck out of us on the stage. So the apology for me, it was definitely heartfelt. And I would say, like as Steve Harvey said, it's not easy. and it takes time. And just from my own personal experience, we have made some stupid mistakes outwardly and privately. Things that we are embarrassed and we pray nobody find out to this day that we know that don't know, that nobody finds out. And, we have done some things that may require apology from certain individuals for certain individuals that you've done something, you've done a trespass that you've done to somebody. And it's hard. It's hard saying I'm sorry as well as receiving it on the other end. The person, if somebody did something to you, it's hard for you to receive it if they did something to you that was hurtful. It's
Right.
hard, you know. And if we've done something that was hurtful to somebody else, we got to put that pride down and say, I'm sorry. And that can be hard. So either way, it's hard. And
Mhm.
rightfully so, if Chris is not ready to receive it, hey, it takes
Right.
time, so there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing that gets me is how people are saying how, oh, it was fake. It was this. It wasn't to you.
Right.
If you're
Right.
not a fan of his, it was not for you and to you. And he didn't do anything to you. So what? He doesn't need your forgiveness at all.
Right.
So he to go to apologize to his Chris family, his brother, mother, and to the family, I'm sure the kids and everybody, that was definitely strength and maturity.
Mhm.
So he's been through a lot. It's no secret. Will's life is publicly. It's in a book. It's
Mhm.
shown at the red table. It's shown if you followed him before the slap, he
Right.
he put his life out there for everybody. So it's not
Mhm.
like he's trying to hide some things,
Right.
or try to pretend to, oh, I've never had issues. I've always been this perfect person, although his record was clean as far as no violence.
Mhm.
He didn't attack anybody, but and you can tell now that he is sorrowful, and it just takes time. It also shows that there's things that they do need to work out, him and Chris. Like
Mhm.
you definitely picked that
Mhm.
up. That they need to work out, but that's him and Chris. That's not him in the world.
Right.
And personally, if it was left up to me, I would apologize to Chris. I'm rich. Move on.
Okay. Really?
I'm just- Go ahead. Serious Karen, what are your thoughts?
I think that Will, if I was in his shoes, I wouldn't be worried about a thing. I wouldn't be worried about what people say or what people think. My grandmother always told me just always be guilty of doing the right thing. So he's guilty of doing the right thing. He did the wrong thing. He came back, he did the right thing, and he apologized. So for some people, it take a little bit longer to forgive, especially when you've been publicly humiliated. So Chris, he'll come around. It's just gonna take a little bit of time, but he'll come around. But I'm just glad that Will did publicly apologize and he did seem sincere. So now it's on Chris. It's off Will. Now it's Chris's turn.
Right.
So we don't know if that'll happen. I really hope that it does. But I'm just glad that Will did the right thing. People are gonna keep talking, but he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Kudos.
Okay.
I swear that the day it happened, I kept replaying it like this is funny. But
Mhm.
I was listening to Steve Harvey. He said something, and he said Will went on a sabbatical after the incident, and he said he went to India and everything. And most people who go to India, they go to India on a spiritual journey. So,
Mhm.
when people go to India for healing and everything, they go for a spiritual journey. So, I believe Will Smith is definitely on a spiritual journey. Now, I
Yeah.
know Will Smith mentioned before that he's a people pleaser. So, it really affected him, like as Steve Harvey said, it affected him to know that he's not as light as he thought he was. So because when he did what he did, he probably thought he would have had the forgiveness, so quickly of other people, the public, and that wasn't the case. He had a lot of ridicule, and I think it really affected him. But I
It
think he
did.
was also dealing with some other things before, why what led up to the incident. So I just think that he's definitely going through a spiritual transformation. And sometimes those spiritual transformation, not sometimes, actually, it hurts all the time.
Mhm.
So listen, because it breaks you down. It breaks you down emotionally, spiritually, physically.
Mhm.
Because that's when God can really use you, when he breaks you down. Like, just, I don't want to get into the Bible, but when Paul talked about, the thorn in the side, that's what happens. You feel like, you're going through a spiritual journey. You have that thorn that you just can't get rid of. And I think,
Yeah.
Will is now experiencing that. And like Steve Harvey said, he said it took a lot of guts and courage to come out as he did it. And we
Yeah.
all know, whoever saw the video, he was really struggling to really apologize, but he did it. And I could tell that, maybe he was not ready fully to apologize, but also I think he wasn't fully ready to address the public, because he knew there's going to be another level of ridicule that he's going to receive that possibly he wasn't ready for. But I love that he's put himself out there. You know what I would love? I would love to see him connect with Iyanla. So,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would love to hear that conversation, that journey, that healing period. I would love to see that. And I wish she had her show to get, to get him on the show or whatever, because I just think he's going through a spiritual journey, and I think it's awesome. But I love the fact that he did apologize. Now, right, Chris, he was humiliated, and it's going to take time. It's going to
Mhm.
take him to be an even bigger person to accept the
Good.
apology and to have that conversation, right? But
Mhm.
I'll probably be pissed too. Like, wait a minute, you don't smack
Yeah.
me in the whole
You
mouth.
want to in the face in front of the world?
Let's get in
Yeah.
front of the camera. Let me smack you back. Say no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for him, I understand. So I understand both, parts, because
Both.
people probably say, "Oh, you let somebody punk you out, you didn't do nothing back." So he's dealing with his whole, emotional self as well. Some things he to deal with. So,
Yeah.
but it's good.
Yeah.
And it just takes time. And Will, you will be okay. Like he said, if you what he said, if you give me a chance, I promise we'll be friends again, or something like that at the end of his video. And
Yeah.
a true friend never stop being a friend.
But you
So
know what? He said something in one of his shows. He mentioned about now people. He didn't say Will Smith initially, but he said now people want to come out and they want to, they want to play the victim.
oh Chris
So
Rock.
he probably feel that Will Smith want to all of a sudden play the victim, and I don't necessarily think he's playing the victim, but it may have sound that way. But considering how it's really affecting, I don't think he knows how much is affecting Will, and so not to justify what he's done, but
Right.
um yeah, but
Yeah, I think anybody with feelings,
mhm.
with emotions or just with a
Mhm.
heart can see that he
Mhm.
suffered the most. Although Chris was embarrassed in front
Right.
of the world,
Yeah.
Will suffered behind that. He really went, I mean, woo, the consequences behind
Mhm.
that.
Okay, but but seriously, y'all, if somebody smacked you in public, what would you do?
Well,
Well, we be
it
fighting,
would end it
first of
Chris
all.
way.
Huh? What you say?
What'd you say, Kim?
Oh,
Serious
I
K.
said, oh, we'll be fighting, honey,
Oh,
because my natural instinct would be, hit
Yeah.
back. I mean,
well, now honestly, y'all know how I am.
I'll forget about where I am.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Something like that. I don't know. We all said we would have popped off, but would we really have popped off in that setting? Because we all say we would. I don't know. I can't say it because we really don't know. Look at Chris Rock.
mhm.
He
Now,
didn't pop off.
my producer said Will's comment about the broken relationship with Tony Rock. So he did mention about some type of broken relationship there.
He
He
said
said,
they friends.
he said it would probably be irreplaceable since they were good friends.
Yeah,
Wow. Also,
yeah,
will acknowledge Chris. He did acknowledge Chris Mon, which was very, very tremendous on his part. But
Hmm.
I would say if friendship, friends go to another. Friends is like it's like marriage in a sense. Like you go through so many things together, and you go through things which seem unforgivable. But true friends, I think, can forgive.
I'm telling you, true friends never stop being
Yeah.
a friend. They never
Yeah,
stop
and
being a friend.
so in an incident like that, like I mean, Shalana said to me the other day about she said when she first met me, she thought I was like very like I fought a lot, right? I fought with people a lot, but I think that's a New York way. And so I can tell you, like, I have fought with friends, I have fought with family, physical, that's not good though, but as well as, words. I'm
Yeah,
not so much a physical person fighting no more. I'm
right.
I'm an adult now, but mature, I would say. But, I think, sometimes that happens. Like with my friends, like we had major blown out public arguments, but after a while we forgave and moved on. And, sometimes you just have to know, when to move on. So, or when to
Yeah.
forgive. So sometimes forgiveness take a while.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is a journey.
Our first encounter, Queen A and I had a big falling out, and Sirius K was like an ear for me, because I really was affected by that, and I was very upset. And I think did I block you? I don't think I
Yeah,
did.
you did. Because I try to contact you.
I didn't talk to her, and Sirius Sirius K was just like. No, there were no affiliation with Sirius K and Queen A, but Sirius K was my hairstylist. So, of course, you don't tell your hairstylist everything.
Yeah.
They're like, like something happened. Don't know nobody. Now what happened? What? So, but a big major falling out. And we were able, and it did. It took some time. It wasn't like, okay, girl, I forgive you. But it did take time and it takes steps. So true friends never stop being friends. Though, we popped off on each other and didn't have two words to say.
That is so funny because I you know, that's so funny because I was sitting here thinking, I was like, what friend have I had a major fallout with? I haven't had a major fallout with anybody. Now I had somebody just to stop talking to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it just went mute.
I don't even want me to go there with the other friends.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, how do you go mute? Like, we didn't even have a conversation. We didn't even have a fallout before the mute. Actually, the last conversation was, girl, what you doing? Girl, nothing. Oh, girl, let me call you back later. Okay. And then it was like it went mute. I'm like,
yeah. Well, you're not alone. That happened to me too.
I never had a drag out, fallout, or bad argument or anything that I can remember.
I don't understand. Though, it's something. It's not you. It wasn't you. It's something with that individual that they just could not deal with. Pertaining to themselves and not so much as you. Serious case. Same way with me. I was abandoned, and I'm like, well, what? It wasn't a big falling out. I felt abandoned, and it wasn't a big falling out. Anything. It's just a disappearance, and when I try now, you never attempt to reach out, right? I did.
No, I did because I felt like, even though my husband said I should have, but I felt like I don't have a problem. So what am I reaching out for? You know what I mean? I wanted to a few times, but then after I thought about it, I'm like, but I don't, because I was curious. But then I'm like, this may be God's way of removing this person. And then I was fearful of calling a person and then they try to be my friend again, because at this point I don't want to be your friend no more. I want to call and just say, okay, what's the problem? And then you tell me the problem and then we go on about our business. Okay, girl, we hashed that out. No, I don't want to be your friend no more, because I don't want to be friends with somebody like that. That's shady to me. Like, you to just disappear and don't say nothing, that just shows that you were not a true friend, because you would have called me and said whatever. And so now I don't want to, because I'm scared they're going to want to be my friend again. I don't want to be your friend.
That's interesting, because that's like, for me, I feel like if a friend betrayed me, like, and something like that, like same thing. I don't even want to necessarily be your friend. But I remember for me, I remember when Shalonda came to New York, the time I lived in New York, and we were staying at a friend's house, and it was a conference, and there was another friend there. And we were in the restaurant and we were like going at it. And Shalonda looking like, what is wrong with you? And, and this person, like, we still friends the same, we still just as good as friends as we were like when that happened. But I remember incidents where her and I remember one time we were on our way, we was dropping somebody at the train station. And we had a full blown out fight. Like, she pulled over the car. We was getting to get out the car and fight. I was telling Shalonda about the story. Like, we were literally, listen, I was ready to though. but it's, I know, but it shouldn't be that way. But but we have matured and we are good friends, to this day. So that's a good thing when you're able to move on from incidents like that and get past whatever it is. But I think some friendships, like, everything is for a season. and some is for a lifetime. So I think that it is friends for a life, and then it's friends for seasons.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. So, in time, hopefully they can hash things out and, and just move on peacefully, and
Yeah.
as far as the public, let it go.
yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody was
Yeah.
a big, please. It
Mhm.
happened. Half of our culture don't even watch the Oscars. We didn't
Yeah.
find out what happened until, social media alarmed us.
Mhm.
So let it go and stop faking and being jealous and hating. Because
But
that's simply what it is.
I think it's a lot to do with his surroundings, what people are saying to him about it.
Mhm.
So people
Fake
probably like, oh,
and
don't forgive him, don't talk to him, like
Male
jealousy,
ego
hatred.
and
That's
stuff.
hate. That's pure hatred. Why?
Mhm.
Okay, you don't have to be his friend like Serious K. You don't have to be his friend anymore. But okay, I accept the
Mhm.
apology. Or whenever
Mhm.
you're ready. Not saying, oh, you gotta accept it now, but whenever you're ready. But
Mhm.
don't if you're trying to throw all these nuances out here or trying to be all, oh, people are trying to play the victim and blah blah blah. No, no, that was not victimized at all. That what he did, that was
Mhm.
um that showed a lot of strength, like I said. That showed the bigger person. And
Mhm.
hey, I'm just trying to make peace. I know in
Mhm.
your time when you're ready, cool. But I'm just trying to let you know I was wrong. And then the key words he said, there is nothing in me that felt like that was the right thing to do. So
Yeah.
he's letting you know there was nothing in me. There is
Right.
nothing now, currently, now that he's not foggy. Or what did he say? He was foggy, cloudy, or whatever. When they
Mhm.
said, why didn't you apologize then, or something like that to Chris? But he said, there's nothing in me that felt like that was the right thing to do. He knows
Right.
we're
Yeah.
wrong. All righty, now this right here is a little juicy hot topic, y'all. Y'all, girl, wait a minute. We got a Beehive fan, baby. We have a Beehive on the line. This series
Queen
game.
A.
Not me.
Woo, 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 woo. Check her out.
Yes. Yes.
You
Look
know
at her
she
looking all gorgeous.
Okay.
Miss Beyonce, Lord, and all of her new album, Renaissance. Would y'all call it excitement or jealousy, hatred? I mean, what? I'm talking. It has been drama after drama about her new, album.
Mhm.
She's doing well. Her numbers are excellent. Of course. Have you guys had a chance to listen to the entire album?
Not
I
the
listen,
entire. Mm.
I listen
I
to a
heard
lot of it, but not every song. No.
I've heard most of the songs, probably all of them, but I would if I missed one or two, but I've heard most of them. The one that I like, of course, everybody like, "Break My Soul."
Hmm.
But that's just, yeah. That this particular album is not my cup of tea. I love Beyonce. I think she's beautiful. Family's beautiful. The kids are beautiful, but the family is
Mhm.
beautiful. Um, and she's accomplished a lot, throughout the years and made some nice music. But yeah, I would definitely say I like to break my soul, and that's it. Um, yeah. So, what do you guys think?
About the
About some of the excitement
comments
that's
and
going
the,
on, like with the
yeah,
Khaleesi
well,
situation, with
all of
the
the, yeah, all of that stuff. You know, I like B because she just be so unbothered. She said, "Okay, you want me to take that off? I take it off. I take it off. I take it off."
delete.
Because guess what? Because I'm still gonna make my money. People still gonna buy. People still gonna love me. So I'll take you off. I'll take that song off. I'll take this music off. I remove this. I remove that. So, but you know what? I love what Leela James said. I love what she said. I read this on her Facebook page, and it says, "Mood. When you wake to the fact that you and Beyonce both have a song called Break My Soul." Yes. Of all the titles and concepts in the world, what are the chances and who would have thought when I released my song last summer that Beyonce would release a song with the same title this summer? It's exciting and I love it because if you didn't catch the message the first time, you sure enough gonna catch it the second time. Sisters are standing up and making it clear that you can't. So, I love the way she handled it. She took it as a what is the word I want to use? Like I feel like, honored. I feel honored that she named the song the same as my song. I feel honored by that. But everybody else didn't feel that way. Oh, she's stealing. Oh, she trying to take my stuff. Oh, she trying to get credit. Lila, like, oh my God, yes. Like, we on the same page here. Like, I love it. And Beyonce too. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Those other people, Beyonce ain't bothered by them. It's like, I'm trying to give y'all a little credit. I'm letting you know that I love your stuff. I like you. I'm gonna use it in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I've heard, I like it. I just say that, Beyonce, just keep on doing your thing. Don't worry about the haters and the naysayers, because they gonna do it anyway.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Queen A.
I love Beyonce. Listen, she another Virgo. That's how we handle things. Like, listen, I'm not even gonna bother into it. Just walk away, do like, hey, have what you gotta have, because Virgos are very peaceful people. We like peace, no drama. But our producer said the album was leaked early. Also, Beyonce has 10 samples on the record. So I want to say this intellectual, like, especially because I'm a writer, this intellectual copyright law thing been very, very extensive lately. That's why, if you in music, writing, whatever, you need an intellectual property lawyer, because they kind of help guide you and kind of search the records to see if it's already out there. Because it can get very ugly and messy, and people like people looking for money, especially when it comes to Beyonce. Like she's at the top of the line. So people like, hey, you taking my music that I already produced out there. But researching Beyonce, she had several things that, she has several lawsuits out there. And one of her major songs was Drunken Love. So she had a lawsuit out for that as well. So, but hey, I'm like, she handled it well, I think. And, I don't, I mean, this whole intellectual thing is another level. So I don't have much to say about it, but just be mindful when it comes to intellectual property.
The very interesting thing with with Beyonce, I would say, I don't know if people have noticed it, that she doesn't really have a relationship with people. You
Others.
know how, like a Will Smith, how he interacted with us, he let us into his world, and we loved him, of course, pre-slap. Or a lot of fake loved him or whatever, and a lot of other celebrities, where they interact with society, the ones that are, very popular with, with the
Mhm.
fans. But it's amazing how, especially in this generation, because I think she's definitely highly, of course, loved with our generation as well, but definitely with the millennials and the young, 100% with them. But how it can be no interaction at all, but she's loved, but no, only music. She just sing and
Mhm.
perform. She's, if you go to one of her shows, an outstanding performance. She's definitely gifted and singing and
Mhm.
dancing and and everything. But it's just, isn't it amazing? It's
She's
just amazing now where everybody, others have to have this type of interaction with people
Yeah.
to draw people in and to but it's that's just very interesting. Go ahead, Queen A.
she's a very private person. It's interesting. I think most Virgos are private people. We like say for myself. I mean, I'm kind
Is
of out.
Tyler Perry a Virgo?
Say it again.
Tyler
Yeah,
Perry.
he's a
Very
Virgo.
interactive. Taraji P. Henson, very
Well,
interactive. There are some other ones that are
But
Virgo.
you only let in. You only allow the public to see what you want them to see.
Mhm.
So
I'm
like
talking about as far as interactive, not
yeah,
showing
she's
things,
not very
just
intimate. I don't think.
interactive.
Yeah,
I
No,
mean,
well,
Tyler
well,
Perry, we've never seen his kid. We don't know
mhm.
what goes on a day to day,
Mhm.
but just very interactive. Like get on there and talk live. Taraji talk live. It's a lot of Virgos that are celebrities, but they,
mhm.
they come on and they talk. Never, she follows no one.
Well, Oprah told her to do that. Oprah, I remember when she was on Oprah's show a long time ago, Oprah told her, don't let people in. She said, that was my mistake. I let people into my
Yes,
world, and
yes,
people will automatically judge you and
yes.
just, you know, uh, hate you for no reason or for some reason. So
Yes.
she told her that, and ever since Oprah told her that, she don't let nobody in. So when she
No,
do, you
that's
see what
right.
she do? She do a documentary.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and I remember her doing an interview after that later. It was a big interview. I can't remember if it was on like if it was what's that lady, not Robin Roberts, but the older white lady. I can't, but she did an interview, and I remember her telling her, repeating it, saying, well, Oprah, I remember Oprah told me, don't let nobody in. Be careful who you let in. So she said that's
Yes.
why she's a private person,
Yeah.
and that stuck with her. So no, she don't follow nobody on
She
social
follows
media.
nobody. That's what I said. She follows nobody. She doesn't interact, and that is just amazing to me. It really is because it's like, okay, the type of music that she puts out,
Mhm.
and everything. It's like, wow, to have that much pull and just what is it? What's the word for it? To have that much where she could just she has
Yes, Barbara Walters interview.
yeah,
Yes.
Barbara Walters. Yeah. Where
Mhm.
she could just have just, I guess, just how people could just flock to her and she has no interaction with anybody. Like,
It just shows how much of a leader she is.
Yes.
right,
Jay,
like,
she
hey,
let Jay-Z do his thing. She let him talk, but she ain't talking.
who? JC?
I said she let him speak, but she ain't.
Oh
She
yeah.
like, you
Yeah,
can
well,
go do an
yeah,
interview, but
he
I'm not.
definitely does a lot of interacting, a lot of interviews and stuff with people and everything. But she does none. And yet, she has so much influence and power,
But it goes to show, like when you think about people who lives, I'm not, I don't know her, of course, but someone who lives a life of integrity, like you can when you live a life of integrity, not all people, because we see like that bishop, but when you live a life of integrity, you have that pull, you draw people in as a leader, and you don't have to even do. I'm not saying you don't have to do much, but people are automatically drawn to you. So
Interesting. So let's move on. We're gonna I think we're running out of time, but I did want to get this one more topic in. Can we get this one more topic in? Y'all good with that?
yeah.
We have to, but let's get this hot topic in right quick. And this is dealing with I'm gonna skip over producer. I don't know if you want to take the abortion picture down, but this one is dealing with Bishop T.D. Jake's comment about the women. We're gonna go through that one right quick. Right quick. That was a hot topic. Again, this is another great leader of ours. Of course, we all know he's extremely interactive. He's a bishop, interactive with
Mhm.
the community. And woo, woo, talk about the backlash that he received after the comments that he made during the Father's Day sermon. And this is just a little snippet of a lot of the comments that he made. But women are being raised as men. Now, many of you guys, HMB fam, co-hosts, y'all have seen that video. Y'all have heard it. Now, I'm gonna give my perspective, and it may not be a popular perspective, but I certainly 100% agree with Bishop Jakes. I really do. Um, the thing that I disagree with pertaining to this with Bishop Jakes is that I probably wouldn't have brought that up during the sermon because it's a layered conversation. It's a layered conversation. And so just saying those little things, you know how people are, they're going to take just what didn't sound right or felt, kind of, made you feel a certain type of way. And they're going to exploit that. And then this is what you get. But it's a layered conversation. It's definitely an issue within our community, whether we want to admit it or not. It is. I've been a Black woman for 47 years. So I'm not 27, I'm not 17, I'm not even 37. So it's definitely an issue with a lot. And I'm not saying the entire, Black women
Mhm.
um, population, but a lot of us definitely have experienced what he talked about.
Mhm.
It's a layered conversation that maybe shouldn't have been was not a good time to bring it up because it's a teaching, it's a conversation, it's a discussion, it's um, a coaching, it's coaching sessions, not even one. But this is a young moment where
Mhm.
layers need to be pulled off in this conversation so that we can understand. First, we have to acknowledge before we can even begin the conversation. We gotta acknowledge. There has to be some type of acceptance in what was being said before we can even begin the healing and begin to do better. So that's the only thing I disagree with that. Maybe that wasn't the right timing. Maybe should have did it on a Wednesday night Bible study and made it a series, because the Wednesday night Bible study, I think an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then maybe did a month teaching on a month's teaching, 2 months, whatever it would have taken, and had a panel of us, Black women, on there and discuss their experiences, why they disagree, why they agree, why, if they agree and say yes, I'm
Mm-hmm.
guilty of acting that way, speaking that way, believing
Mhm.
that, this is why. Because
Right.
there are reasons behind why they feel the way they feel and say the things that they say. There are reasons, good, bad, and indifferent. There are reasons, and they're valid. So
Right.
that's my part, perspective. Queen A.
Well, for me, for me, I think you should expound it on the subject because it is a powerful subject. But I remember my mother growing up always taught me never depend on a man.
Mm.
And so when he said it, how we raised as men, so as women, as Black women, it's a whole. I wish we could have a whole conversation, a show just on this
Mm-hmm.
topic. But a lot of Black families have raised their women to be very strong Black
Yeah.
women, and
Mm-hmm.
so, and especially because what they have been through. But I remember my mother always telling me never depend on a man, always make sure you
Mm.
have your own. And so I grew up with that type of mentality, and it's like even now, like say like I'm dating someone, I'm not gonna say I don't need him, but it's like say financially or whatever, it helps. But when I look at when he does certain things, I have to always remind myself, can he stop? Let him take the lead. Let him, So it's like I'm very conscientious of that, because of what I've been taught, in the church in terms of how a man, the role of a woman and a man. If I didn't have that teaching from the church, then I would have been in this, this mentality or this attitude of, don't let no man, tell you what to do. Have your own, so you depend on yourself, be independent, be this, be that. Now my character is to be independent. But it's very interesting. I had and I'll make this quick. I had a client the other day. It was a coaching call, and she said to me, it's funny because when she was talking to me, she said, "Look," she said, "I'm a beautiful woman. I'm gorgeous." She was like, She said, "You want to get on video?" I can show you the video. She said, "So you can see how I look." She said, "I got long, beautiful hair. I got a banging body." She said, "I'm a manager at Google." And she went on and on and on as far as how she doesn't need a man. And then, but the topic in a relationship, the topic of the coaching call was relationships. Well, honey, you want to think about why you're not, why you can't keep the man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You feel like he doesn't have, like you already have what you need.
Right.
So, and that's what Bishop Jakes was basically saying. Like, it has to be women has to create a place,
Yeah.
for a man to enter and be a man where he feel like, you need me. Even if we feel like we don't need him, like we gotta
Mm-hmm.
create a place. So, but there's a whole history behind why Black
Behind it.
women. It's a whole topic conversation, and it goes beyond.
Mm-hmm.
It goes beyond just Black women. It goes to the
Mm-hmm.
Black family. It goes to the
Mm-hmm.
Black men, and why we were, even taught certain things. But really quick, this guy,
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend. He's Black, and he loves white women. So I asked him, I said, "Why do you like white women?" And he mentioned because white women are very flexible, they're easygoing, they're not, like controlling. Where he felt like Black women very intense, very controlling. And it's like even though white women don't necessarily, sometimes they meet in a position where they don't necessarily need a man, but they create a
Mm-hmm.
space where they feel like the man is needed. So that's a whole conversation. I would love. Can we
Yes.
have a whole show just for this conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Bring
Mm-hmm.
some Black men on the show, y'all, and get it going.
Mm-hmm.
Series K, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it was just basically the same. My thoughts were pretty much the same. I was along the same lines y'all are. My thoughts are, I mean, he was definitely talking to the Black community, talking about women in the Black community, because same as you, Queen A, I was raised to, hey, always have your own, hold your own. Know how to take care of yourself. Don't depend on a man for nothing. Always keep you some extra money on the side because you don't
Yes.
know, all this kind of stuff. So, and we were taught to do certain things that just in case we don't have a man, you already know how to do this. You know how to do a
Yes.
garden. You know how to grow a garden. You know how to mow your. You know how to just certain things. And so now, and I think today in society look at Black women like that, and so sometimes we're scared to be vulnerable too. We
Oh
want
my
to
God,
pretend to be
yes.
strong all the time. I even
Yeah.
had to tell my daughter that, like, it's okay. It was some project on a job she was upset about. I said, "Baby, it's okay." She's like, "Mama," when she was talking to me, she was crying. She said, "Mama, I'm sorry, I'm acting weak." I was like, "Girl, it's okay to be vulnerable." I say, and plus, this is your craft. This is what you love. I say,
Yeah.
that's showing your passion behind it. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. Do that because I didn't raise her that way, but I did raise her to be a somewhat independent woman. You know what I
A
mean? To
confident
hold your
young
own and
lady.
some good work ethic. So I raised her that way. And I think by her watching me being strong, she feels that I expect a lot from her, but I don't. And I try to tell her that, but it's just in her. And she was raised by my grandmother and my mother too. So there's a lot of that in it as well. But yeah, now today you're seeing more women working than the men staying at home with the children. I've even heard women say in conversation, well, I don't know what's wrong with him because I gave him this and I bought him this and I bought him that. I don't know why he want her. I'm like, first of all, you trying to be his mama. You,
Right.
and you switching roles. You trying to be the man, and he can't be the man with you. So that's why he over there with her because she lets him be the man. You won't
Yeah.
let him be the man. So yeah, there was a lot of like y'all said, a lot of layers to what he was saying, but that's another topic for another
Yeah.
show. Like they said,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the show that we definitely should have in the future. Yeah.
yes,
Interesting. We were taught, it's like, and again, I hate to bring up the whole topic with slavery, but it really goes back to history. But
mm-hmm.
we were taught as Black women how to survive and not thrive. And so, we
Mm-hmm.
were taught how to make it on our own because the Black men were pulled away from us, and from the family. And so we see that even today, like the Black man is pulled, away. And it's like, and because of it, it's like we are taught to survive. How, in order to survive, we got to make it in the world. We got to become, top entrepreneurs or be in corporate, like top, management in corporate, make the most money so we don't have to
Mm-hmm.
depend on a man in order to thrive. So that's a whole nother conversation. But even for me, like, I'm dating outside my culture and he's Indian. And so I've learned, even for that, like he always tell me, like, to be like, it's okay to be vulnerable. Like he always say, you're too strong. And it's like, well, what does that mean? Like, I want to know, like, how can I improve,
Mm-hmm.
not just as a Black woman, but as a woman and as someone who wants to be married in a relationship. So I am learning to be vulnerable. And it's very hard to be vulnerable, especially because when you dealt with certain things for so long, it's hard to be vulnerable in a, because you've been taught how to survive, how to be strong, how not to show your weakness because you feel
Yeah,
like you're weak, that,
Yeah.
it's not you're weak, but vulnerable that someone is going to take advantage. So
yeah. And
it's just,
Queen A, you said something to survive. It's so funny that me and Nikki was talking about that one day. We were talking about our elders. They're always in survival mode
yes,
because it's what they were taught how to survive. And so now you try to talk to them and teach them something different, and they're scared to venture out because they're still in survival mode. They
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I'm scared to do this because I may lose that and I'm not gonna have it. They're always
yes, yes.
survival mode.
Hmm.
So that's why that you'll miss out and you'll lose a whole bunch of stuff. You'll miss out on a lot of blessings, keeping
Yep.
Yes,
your mind in survival mode.
yes.
Hmm.
It just goes back to the family dynamics, the structure of family,
Yeah.
and get into the root of the structure of family, but get into like the raw conversation, especially for Black families, like having the raw conversation, because I think from a man's role, a woman's role, but even just interacting in the Black family, like I don't think we're very raw and very honest with one another in terms of how we really feeling, how we really affected, how we really impacted by a certain type of thinking, a certain type of behavior. So it's so much into that I would love to have just a show dedicated for that.
Yeah, definitely needs
Yeah.
to be one because there's a lot. I mean, it
Mhm.
goes so
Yeah.
much deeper, even not just with the disconnection with black men and women, but also with black women and black women.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and black men and black men.
Right. So in
Yeah.
our culture, period, just yeah,
Yeah.
there
You
needs
know,
to
it's
be.
interesting because it's like
Mhm.
we're so welcome. Like, you know, and I know we pressed for time, but I had a conversation with my son the other day. He said, "Mom, I realized something." He said, "It's so sad that, you know, I can get help from another race, like white people, whatever, but our own people won't even assist us."
I
And so
know.
that's
Mhm.
a whole conversation in terms of how we
Yeah.
can heal,
Yeah.
you know, as a certain race and learn to trust one another, learn to be vulnerable, one another, learn to uplift and help one another, and that's so needed. But more so, I think once we get together, the dynamics, the healing part of the black families, then we can thrive in terms of
I was just
it.
gonna say that. And
Yeah,
girl, it
you
starts from
know,
the family.
Mhm.
Charity
yes,
The
starts with a
structure.
broken thread.
exactly,
So
exactly.
it's the broken families. We got to stop promoting it. We got to stop feeling that it's a lot. It's a lot. But that's something we're definitely going to get into in the future, you guys. And thank you so much for tuning in, ladies. Thank you so much for your dedication.
Bye. Take care, all. Enjoy.
You too. Good night,
You guys
everybody.
have a wonderful, wonderful evening and safe. Be safe, be safe, be safe in all capacities. Be safe. We
Yes.
love you. We probably won't see your kids until sometime next month, but you guys enjoy your August and keep God first. Pray.
Yes.